Prime Minister, Honourable Cabinet Ministers, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Members of Parliament, fellow citizens. Mr. Speaker, sir, I write in support of 2024-2025 national budget, a budget which builds the foundation for an economically stable, secure and sustainable Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, the budget reflects the deep commitment of the coalition government to foster inclusive growth and improve the lives of our people, including our farmers, teachers, nurses, other civil servants, our rural communities, our people with disabilities, our women, youth, elderly, and our children who are the future of our economy, of our country. We are investing in our people and skill development. We are ensuring that our civil servants are better paid so that we can recruit and retain good people. We are ensuring that our workers are paid a just and a fair minimum wage and their rights are protected and promoted. We are rebuilding our infrastructure and rescuing our public assets that have been left to deteriorate over the years. We are working on economic diversification and rural development, where almost half of our population resides. We are investing in strengthening our independent state institutions to ensure a better functioning of our democracy. We are investing in our police force to ensure that law and order is maintained. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are keeping our taxes stable and working on streamlining business approval to support our private sector. All these measures, Mr. Speaker, sir, are critical for the overall development and the prosperity of our nation. On fiscal sustainability, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a budget that ensures that we continue a path to rebuild fiscal sustainability. The coalition government inherited a debt of over 90% of GDP. Therefore, the decisive revenue reforms in the last budget and overall fiscal discipline, we have managed to bring down the debt level to around 78% of GDP. And this is contrary to the statement by the leader of the opposition through our deliberate policies. This is a great achievement for us as a nation, Mr. Speaker, sir, a 12 percentage point reduction in the debt to GDP ratio in less than 2 years. This political and national commitment to tackle our debt problem have been applauded by the international financial institutions like the IMF and World Bank, the credit rating agencies, and all our development partners. In this budget, we are keeping up with those momentum to ensure that our debt to GDP ratio continue a downward trajectory. This continuous reduction in the debt ratio is critical to rebuild our fiscal buffers and ensure macroeconomic stability. Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to stay on this course. It will take some time before we can bring down the debt to GDP ratio to below 50%. Our economy must grow faster, and we need to maintain fiscal discipline if you want to reach the 50% debt to GDP ratio much sooner. On our economic growth, Mr. Speaker, sir, we are seeing some headwinds. The slowdown in some of our major trading partners, the challenges in our labor force and potential declining population, and the natural tempering off in growth after the rapid economic rebound in the last 2 years is posing some challenges. In this budget, the fiscal stimulus that is being provided is aimed at mitigating some of these challenges. The good news is that growth remains positive. It means that the economy is still growing, although at a slightly slower rate of 2.8%. We need to increase this growth to 5%, and there is over $2 billion of private sector investment in the pipeline, and government is working on expediting these projects. Some of these major investments in the hotels will help to the room inventory, which has become a major bottleneck to take our tourism industry to the next level. We are also lining up some major public sector investment projects and working with some of our entities in increasing our capacity at our airports, renewable energy, and our port infrastructure. There are some major commercial agriculture projects which will support economic diversification and food security. We are also seeing outsourcing industry expanding from the usual call centers to higher value services like accounting services. Mr. Speaker, sir, we need our private sector to take the driving seat and government to provide the enabling environment for private sector investment to flourish. It is only through sustained private sector-led growth that we can create more and better paying jobs, improve our infrastructure, and overall living standards. On our cost of living, Mr. Speaker, sir, our approach is cost of living is to raise income. And the areas that are therefore put in place or initiative put in place by the government to raise income. And some of these will be announced or probably shared by the respective ministers. One is such that on the civil service, Mr. Speaker, sir, an independent, professional, and well-equipped civil service is vital for effective service delivery. In this budget, government has provided a major boost to the civil service with pay increases ranging from 7% up to 20%. This will inject 85 million into the pockets of our civil servants. This pay rise has already uplifted the morale of the civil servants, and as this is the major pay rise since 2017. This is a great start, and government will continue to work with our unions to ensure that we further improve employment conditions in the civil service. And there is the national minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, sir. Our people have welcomed the 25% increase in the national minimum wage from $4 an hour to $5 an hour. This is a major boost to the income level of our workers, and this will ensure that no one will earn less than around $10,000 per year, effective from 1 April 2025. With higher incomes, we also expect productivity to rise as workers will feel motivated and work hard for their higher income. Mr. Speaker, sir, on social protection and social wages, Mr. Speaker, sir, for those that are vulnerable, we had increased the social welfare allowance in the last budget. These increases continue in this budget with a total funding of around 200 million. We are also continuing with other social wages like subsidized electricity, free water, transport assistance, free education, and various other programs to help the vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the Public Accounts Committee with the Office of the Auditor General, a funding of 7 million has been provided to the Office of the Auditor General. This is to ensure that they are well resourced and to keep the government in check, apart from clearing the backlog of audit, which has been dragging for some time under the previous government. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the Minister of Finance has updated the public financial management system, which will go live on 1st of August 2024. And with that, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have established a new strategic planning office within the ministry, which will beef up project coordination, delivery, and support the overall development of a pipeline of bankable projects for future funding. Mr. Speaker, the office will also ensure that we monitor the implementation of the expenditures laid out in the budget, apart from the ministries being on their feet to ensure that we are able to address so many challenges in every sector of the economy. So this will allay the concern raised by the Leader of Opposition on implementation and monitoring of projects. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are areas that we've spent or increased funds on, including education and TELS, health and medical services, on drugs. And Mr. Speaker, sir, to conclude, the 2024-2025 budget also provides a range of measures to strengthen our Itauke institution and bring about improvements in the life of Itaukes, including government commitment to promote and preserve Itauke culture, custom, tradition, and language, apart from other cultural groups. Government has increased allocation to the ministry to 39.4 million from 38.6. The coalition government will continue to provide support to the needs and has provided its support to the 14 provincial councils to cater for the cost of operation for its council, which used to be funded through the Solinyasana, around 7.3, Tauke Affairs Board operating grant of around 3.2 million, Turanganikoro allowance monthly, and Vanua leadership allowance and maternity kin allowance will continue. Mr. Speaker, sir, through the 2024-2025 budget, Ministry of Itauke Affairs has again been allocated 2 million for village development and transformation program, and a further 3 million for Itauke Resource Owner Support and Development Fund. All these, Mr. Speaker, sir, will strengthen development, empowerment, and will support the overall development of our nation. Mr. Speaker, sir, I fully support this budget. Thank you.